Just because of the initials, Directors Guild of America.
Yeah. Why not? The correct answer is Alan Smithy. All right, we're staying where we are. Chaser has put.
That's hello.
Remember that dog that jumped the stairs? His legs still going everywhere.
So I'm filming this from Pembrokeshire in Little Haven. My parents used to take me here on holiday every year until I was about 16. And now I'm starting to realise that this might be the last time I come here, which is odd but not unexpected. I'm too tall for the bedroom, about twice the height of the window. Bunk beds are too small, and I feel like I'm sleeping in a coffin most nights. It's weird because suddenly your dog's personality will just shift and you can't really get them back again. It's when they get old. I think it's to do with old age, right? They become a different dog, not the one you had before. I'm lucky I still have mine. That's hello. So there's a big circle of cottages at the top of the hill, and that's where I'm staying. We went to a different cottage every year, with some repeats, but we'd always come back here.
So when you get back, tell Dad you saw a harbour pole, police a common dolphin, a bottom-nosed dolphin, a whistle fish, a leafy whale, a great seal, a barbecue shark, down in the coffin.
Down the hill there's the village, actually known as Little Haven. We'd find the beach and the cliff divers and the pubs, food. Dog would have a swim if you wanted to, which you usually did. That's the place you want to go. That's where you want to be. That's where I wanted to be, and that's what I remember the best out of everywhere in Pembrokeshire. And there are two routes to get there. As a kid I dubbed them the forest way and the road way. And as a kid I always liked to go the forest way because it was a bit more of an adventure. You'd be going through this giant woodland.
Apparent reason. This left only 20-year-old. added context makes this video all the more disturbing.
And it was always my favourite. These berries called sloe berries would always grow on the trees there, and I would often pick them and throw them at my dad's head, and he would retaliate by throwing them at my head, and it was a bit of a, I don't know, a bit of a battle. That was always fun as a kid. Naturally, the young version of myself always liked to complain when we went the other way, which is the roadway. Because it was a lot more barren. You'd just be walking across a bunch of roads, overlooking some fields. There were some breathtaking views of the ocean, but I don't remember being interested about all that when I was a kid. As I got older, I started to appreciate the roadway. It was a lot more atmospheric. There was something weird about being in such an open space, surrounded by countryside. I used to befriend this cow, had the number tag 290. As a kid, I really loved that cow. It was my favourite. There aren't any cows in the fields anymore, nor are there any horses to talk to. He chose to take the other route. Animals are pretty much gone. Still, the decision remains. The last time I was here, in 2020, I listened to the album And Then Nothing Turned Itself Inside Out by Yellow Tango. On that route back to the cottage circle, the atmosphere was just right. A coastal town artwork commission. I remember this town well. This was always a favourite of mine in terms of walking, one we frequented on every holiday. My favourite bits are the ruins overlooking the ocean. Something very beautiful about the architecture that was once bustling and is now just bricks. I've always enjoyed this walk. The town itself is likened to a ghost town when all the tourists go home. Surprisingly, it sort of shuts down, becomes a bit less inviting. I visited the cottage of an artist while I was there. He just had the place open and all of his artwork was on the table. And you could pay for it, buy it, and leave without even talking to the guy. He wasn't there. A lot of trust. You wouldn't get something like that in a city. Too many people would take advantage. Regardless, I bought a piece of his artwork, and it depicted quite obviously the town, and it looked beautiful, but it also looked different. I like to imagine that's how the town looks when the tourists are not here. I mean, think about it. I've never been to Little Haven in the winter. I've never been to Pembrokeshire in the winter, because why would I be there? It's now's not the time for a holiday. It makes you wonder what those fields and what those abandoned ruins look like in the dead of night in the middle of winter. Is the air different? Do the people act differently? What changes? Coastal Town Artwork Commission that I paid for and then left. Nightwalking. In July 2020, I thought I was visiting Little Haven for the last time. And on the last day, the 7th day, the last one, after visiting that coastal town with the red ruins in the daytime, dead of night, at 11, me and my mother decided to go for a walk at night. And we observed the waves, the shoreline crashing. And I was listening to that record again. Everything was silent, everything was calm, and nobody else was around. We had a conversation. And the atmosphere was just right.
It's probably the best Christmas gift you got me. It's Christmas.
It's now that I realise that childhood is a myth. The friends that I made those years ago, they could be anywhere now, living out their adulthood. They're not kids anymore. Sometimes I wonder if they're still around. I can't remember their faces, and my parents can't recall their names. It's times like these that I wonder if they ever really existed in the first place. How much of my childhood was an invention, brought up by an overactive imagination and a clouded view of what happened in the past.
Construction began here in 1846.
I mean, did I really spend those evenings out on the rocks with the friends that I've made? I remember meeting this older girl. I forgot her name as well. My parents are talking of their friends that are passing away. A lot of my parents' friends have died recently. And it's got me thinking about my own mortality, that things get quite existential sometimes. I also think back to, my surroundings as a kid. You know, the fact that at night a place like this can seem a lot more ominous because you don't actually know what's out there. Anything could have been lurking in the darkness. While I was an oblivious kid, we used to hunt for toads on the roads after it had been raining. We used to walk down these lanes when it was pitch black. You couldn't see a thing. And I know I'll be signing off soon. But I just had to think about this for a while. Because so much of my childhood was spent here. And yet I've now realised how foggy some of it is. And how I can't recall specific details. And how events are retold in a way that makes me question whether they even happened in the first place. My head has been swimming with anxiety for weeks.